Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
I'm Chris Stachiw.
And I'm Sean Liang.
Sean, you're here for a second time in a row.
I know, we're making it a habit.
Yeah, it's coming back. He's back. He's back again. And we are joined by a frequent guest of the Kulturecast, screenwriter Tim Burns.
I put the freak in frequent.
Every couple months, ladies and gentlemen. Every couple months. And I think for once we're watching a good movie.
Hell yes.
I mean, Larry the Cable Guy is not in this film.
Yay!
Hey, you know what? As much as we didn't like Jingle All the Way 2, when I met Larry the Cable Guy the day after my appendectomy, he was super nice.
Oh.
So he was like super nice in person.
Are you sure? Are you sure you met him, or was that just the drugs wearing off?
Hey, you know what? I took no pain meds after my appendectomy.
Really? 'Cause I sure needed some after mine, and I've had open heart surgery, which didn't hurt. My appendectomy hurt like a son of a bitch.
I would rather just like endure it. And it wasn't that bad, but I mean, I didn't take any of the pain meds. It was just, I didn't want to be like completely like whacked out.
Mind you, not to sidetrack us too much, but mine had burst. My appendix burst while I was on vacation in Hawaii, and I didn't know about it for a week. And then I started having stomach pain when I came home, and they said, your appendix burst like 10 days ago.
Oh,
and,
Jesus.
And apparently that can happen slowly. So anyway, when they did have to go in and take it out, he said, I had to scrape it off the sides of your intestines, so it's going to be sore. And it was very sore because they had to scrape stuff out of me.
Oh, God. Well, my appendix was so inflamed that it had begun to fuse with some of my internal organs.
Awesome.
So my surgery took like an hour longer than it was supposed to, which was freaking out my fiance to no end. She's like, it should have been done by now. It's okay. Everything's okay. Oh. He's got like a watermelon inside of him.
I was in surgery limbo because the night before my appendectomy, the anesthesiologist called me at home and said, I just read your heart file and you got a really bad heart and I'm not going in there. If you have a problem on the table, I can't save you. You'll just die. So I just called the surgeon and said, I'm not doing it. And then I called 5 other anesthesiologists and told them, and they said, I wouldn't touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. So they wouldn't do it.
Jeez. Well, I'm assuming you got your appendectomy before your bypass?
Yes, I didn't get a bypass. I got a valve replacement. But yeah, it was 6 months, though. It took 6 months of them trying to debate which would go first. Would my heart have to get fixed first, and then they could do the appendix, or would the appendix get infected again? Then they'd have to do that because neither surgeon would go in. The heart guy didn't want to go in if the appendix was messed up, and the appendix guy wouldn't go in because my heart was funky.
Jeez.
It was awesome.
And now are you part pig now?
I'm part pig, part robot. I got a pacemaker and no appendix, but I have some kind of gyroscope down there, I think.
Nice.
Oh my god. Oh, that is too much.
Anyway, why did I tell health stories? Let's talk about movies.
Yeah, let's talk about movies. So, Tim, have you been watching anything since last time I spoke to you? Anything stick out?
Good question. Just started watching HBO's new series, The Night Of, which really seems good. Really interested in that. And that's about it. Been working a lot, so haven't had time for TV.
Well, working's good.
Yeah,
Working is apparently good. That's how TV gets made, apparently.
that's what they
Right?
say.
Yeah. People like me spend time in the basement typing in the dark.
I've heard nothing but good things about The Night Of, so.
Yeah, it seemed pretty good. I mean, I only saw the first two, but it was very, very smart and very well done, from what I can tell.
And all I know about it is the John Turturro character was supposedly originally cast for James Gandolfini. So
Interesting.
rest in peace, James Gandolfini, unfortunately. But supposedly John Turturro does a good job. So
It's one of those things like a lot of TV where it starts slowly, but you spot John Turturro in a small role, and just the law of TV, you know immediately that character is going to become very important because it's John Turturro. They're not going to put him in that role and have it be as minor as they're trying to pretend. But
right.
It's tough in TV where you go, no, they can't kill that guy. It's the guy they paid the most to be in this movie. Sort of.
Right. Unless it's Game of Thrones.
Exactly,
And then
which
they
is the
say
best
that.
part of Game of Thrones is we'll kill anybody.
Yeah. Sean Bean.
Done.
Spoilers, everyone. We're 7 seasons in now at this point, okay?
I'd like to do it with a movie and have Tom Cruise in the first 5 minutes and kill him or something, you know.
Yeah.
So kind of like Drew Barrymore in Scream or in Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Tom Cruise, he'd love that like $1 million paycheck to be in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. He'd peace out. He'd be done.
Yeah. Later, guys. He's too busy doing a remake of The Mummy, so.
No way.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep. And guess what, guys? The Mummy is a woman now.
Well, it makes sense given the name.
Right? Wow. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Someone finally went there.
Hashtag dad joke. It's a dad joke, guy. Oh, The Mummy. Oh, God. Sean, have you been watching anything?
Oh man, since the last time I don't think so. I think like the only thing that comes to mind was I watched The Invitation on Netflix, which like just came out in July. And I really liked it, but there's really not much to talk about. Yeah, no, not really. I was so into Stranger Things for like 2 weeks that I like didn't really do anything else.
I've been hearing a lot about that, and I was just writing something in a hurry, and people said, don't watch it because you're going to not want to stop watching it. So I wasn't allowed to even peek at it, but I've heard really good stuff.
I've already watched it like twice. It's only 6 episodes, or maybe it's like 8 episodes, but
I think it's 8.
Yeah, but it goes quick, and it's one of the most fun things I've watched in a long time.
And I believe it has everybody's favorite heartthrob, Matthew Modine, in it.
Ooh.
I'm correct.
The other thing I just watched was Happy Valley on Net. It's a lot like Fargo as a series, but it's Scottish, and it's this guy that decides to kidnap his boss's daughter to get money because he's mad at his boss, and then it all goes south. And my favorite scene, which was like in the middle of, there was, near a recent American gun disaster, which is like every 2 weeks. So it happened within the last 2 weeks, let's say.
Every other day, Tim.
Yes,
every other day.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There was a scene where they're going to this guy who's they think they've figured out where the kidnappers are. This guy's already killed a cop. The cops all surround it in the cars, and they all get out and run in, and they pull out their batons.
You can tell this show is not made in America. What American show would have them pulling out their batons? Right?
Yeah, every single one of them, they've got their batons out, and they know this guy's armed and killed a police officer, and they've got their fucking batons ready.
We're gonna take those bullets. We'll whack them out of the way with our wooden batons.
Yeah, and I just thought, God love you, England. Just God love you.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres, so join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
It's not Scottish, by the way. It's Northern England, so I'm in trouble for saying that. But anyway, it's really
I'm
good.
assuming it's a BBC show.
I think so, yeah.
I enjoy BBC's stuff. I mean, Doctor Who, obviously.
Yeah.
But still waiting on the next season of that. So I know you're a huge fan of Doctor Who.
Yeah, with my daughter. But because we're watching on Netflix, we're actually a season behind. So we're waiting for season 9, I guess it is, to go on Netflix. Because you can't get it on demand anywhere else. And I'm too cheap to buy it on Apple. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it'll be free soon. So
what have I been watching? What have I? Nothing really. Started watching. Oh, this is real bad. I started watching a Pokemon television show on Netflix. Man.
Dear God.
It's something. I don't know if it hasn't aged well or I'm just too old, but like the storylines are beyond simplistic. Yeah. Like even if I were a kid, I would have been like, really, like, I don't know. I was like 7 when Pokemon came out, 6 or 7. So maybe it would have appealed to me, but
I don't know. I remember when it came on when we were kids and it wasn't interesting. And then I was watching it recently because it's on Netflix now. And
the voices are beyond grating.
Oh my God. Yeah. But you're right. Nothing happens in an episode.
No. Every episode is them catching another Pokemon.
Yeah, and like
that's all it is for like every episode.
Because there's like hundreds and hundreds of episodes, right? Like
yeah, I want to say there's like 14 seasons of the show.
And each season has like 50 episodes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Children's television. That's the way to go.
Yeah, man, you just pump it full.
It's like when Tom Stern and I were developing a show for Nickelodeon a couple of years ago. That got close to going but didn't. But at one point they just said it's too sophisticated and we want one of the execs. Most of the people at Nickelodeon are pretty good actually, but this one exec said it's like I want this to be like for a dumb 8-year-old, not a.
Oh my God!
It should be a show that's like not a smart 8-year-old. This should be for a dumb 8-year-old.
Oh my God!
8-year-old.
And
you know, it just that confirms so many things that I think about the industry. Just that sentence alone.
Yeah, well, that's where I knew I was done. I just said, yeah, sorry, I just don't know how to do that except by accident. But I mean, I've written dumb stuff, but I'm never going to set out and say, gee, this is for stupid people.
This is for dumb shits, by the way.
I'm stupid enough to watch this.
Oh,
that was a soul-killing moment.
Yeah, that's all I've been watching, really, and it's really not good. that and my boy Bob Ross. That is some good just relaxation time TV watching. I
should send you when we did Chimp Channel, we did a Bob Ross spoof where the chimp was, in the big afro was painting pictures, and the chimp could actually do it, like could paint, put the brush in and paint on the thing. Which and then the joke was the chimp just kind of eats the paint and is basically getting high off the paint. So it's like, oh yeah, just some burnt umber and some, oh, let's try more of the yellow's tasty. And it was pretty wacky, and the chimp's just eating the paint and getting goofy and putting paint on everything. And and TBS just said, no, it's a drug reference. We can't do it. And they wouldn't air the sketch. So somewhere there's an unseen Bob Ross as a chimp sketch.
That's amazing.
You had me at chimps.
Yeah.
Anything with monkeys is just.
I know. I've got it somewhere in my closet.
Bob, and if people don't think that Bob Ross was like toked out of his mind,
right?
Whenever he's painting, I mean, he might not have actually been high, but he plays the stoner pretty well.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is great. Oh yeah, the black gesso and yellow ochre, and we're just gonna put a happy little tree. It's like nobody who is not high on marijuana talks like that. Let's talk about Raising Arizona, shall we? Let's get right into Nicolas Cage month.
Yes.
Which I will be perfectly honest, I've been dreading since we decided that that's what we were doing for the month of August. Before we get into Raising Arizona, I want to ask each of you your thoughts on Nicolas Cage as an actor, starting with Tim, because everybody kind of has their own take on him.
Well, I've seen him be really great in a few things, and like most actors, he's at the mercy of a script and a director. So I think he's talented, but malleable. And when he's got the right material or it fits him, he's a pretty entertaining guy to watch. I don't think he's great at hard drama. I would say I think Michael Bay ruined his career. The minute he did like Con Air and that stuff and refashioned himself as an action star, that's the stuff is not really down his alleyway. But in Raising Arizona, he's pretty awesome. So I can't hold it against him. I think he's got talent. It's just he's an oboe player, and not every orchestra needs an oboe.
What about you, Sean?
My friends and I we always thought of him as like sort of like everyone's like drunk uncle, you know what I mean? He's like fun to have around, and like sometimes it's horrible and sometimes it's like the greatest thing ever. Because like some of his movies are like some of my favorite, like, and like I hate to admit, like some of my favorite movies. I mean, like I love Wicker Man, you know what I mean? Like that is one of my favorite movies, just because he's such a character. I have respect for him for like wanting to do the work so much that he does everything, and I don't know, it's he has done some turds, but sometimes it fits. You know what I mean?
I also think you could put him in almost a similar category to Shatner in that the one thing he'll never do is underact. He'll never be boring.
Exactly.
He shows up ready to do stuff and sort of with a fearless, yeah, I'll try anything kind of attitude. But sometimes in wrong hands, that can be completely wrong, you know?
Totally.
But he seems like a fearless, I'm not going to go small on this. I'll go, if I'm in it, I'm going to go for it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And, I think my feelings on Nick Cage are everything that he does now is pretty bad. I mean, his more recent stuff, he does not seem to be very discerning in what he takes as jobs anymore. The Left Behind movie from 2 years ago being a key example, or any of the other, like you mentioned, Tim, these action movies that are just like you kind of just like shake your head like, what are you thinking? Yeah. And, he was in financial trouble for a while there in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that may have driven some of it, just needing to make money. And I mean, I get it. You just got to take these terrible roles and, make chicken salad out of chicken shit. But
and they're not making a lot of Raising Arizonas anymore. So I think
it's sad.
You're kind of at the mercy of what the market's doing.
Yeah.
And at least he's in that category of what they'll call a bankable star for a certain kind of movie. So if the call comes and it's like, we'll pay you X amount for 3 weeks of work, I'm pretty sure he's going to say, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I doubt he cares that, people are like, Nick Cage fucking sucks taking all these terrible movies. He's probably like, look at my bank account. I was broke at one point, like completely in debt. And he's probably not anymore, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's not like he can't act anymore. It's more like if the right movie comes along, he'll still have the talent he has. It's just you put him in the wrong thing, and it's going to be standard. Yeah.
But what comes first? Because now he's at a point where he's taking these movies that are not good, and maybe that diminishes his star power in the eyes of people that would be casting him in movies like Raising Arizona.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah, I don't really understand the life of the actor that well, but I think it's always a tough case. I think there's several cases of actors who've gone down that road and then were redeemed by the right role came along and people looked at them again and said, "Oh, okay, you're not a hack. You're a good actor, but you just had to make a living for a while, you know?"
Cough, cough, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that guy was in Shaggy Dog 2 years before he was in Iron Man.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and probably, I don't know, Bruce Willis or even Sandra Bullock. There's been a few big stars who had periods of why did they make that movie?
Yeah.
I want to say Keanu Reeves, but I love Keanu Reeves too much to besmirch the name of Keanu Reeves. So he made The Lake House, but he also made John Wick. So
I don't hear the name Keanu Reeves and besmirch in the same sentence a lot, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But let's talk about Raising Arizona, which is a Coen Brothers film, so it automatically gets some huge points from me, and I think a lot of people who sit down to watch it for the first time. The film stars Nick Cage, Holly Hunter, John Goodman, William Forsythe, and one of my favorite character actors in the whole wide world, Randall Tex Cobb.
Yes.
The IMDb synopsis for the film is, when a childless couple of an ex-con and an ex-cop decide to help themselves to one of another family's quintuplets, their lives get more complicated than they anticipated.
Son, you got a panty on your head.
Just drive fast, eh?
Turn to the right!
The first time I met Ed was in the county lockup in Tempe, Arizona. You're a flower, you are. A day I'll never forget.
I do.
You bet I do.
Okay, then.
My lawless years were behind me. Our child-rearing years lay ahead. But biology conspired to keep us childless.
You go right back up there and get me a toddler. I need a baby hide. I got more than I can handle.
At the time, Ed's little plan seemed like the solution to all our problems. And the answer to all our prayers.
He's beautiful.
What? Are you kidding? We got us a family here.
I want Nathan Jr. back! What's his name?
Ed Jr.
Hi, Junior.
So far, we've just been using Jr.
We call him Junior.
He's out there somewhere.
Hold on, Nathan. We're gonna go pick up Daddy.
I've been taking these Huggies and, whatever cash you got.
You busted out of jail.
We released ourselves on our own recognizance. What Double here is trying to say is that we felt the institution no longer had anything to offer us.
We got a child now. Everything's changed.
Where's Junior?
Who the hell are you?
I'm a man.
We're absolutely going to get him back. Just ain't no question about that.
Give me that baby, you warthog from hell!
Hey, you want to know another thing? I'm going to be a better person from here on out. Let's go get Nathan Jr.
Raising Arizona, a comedy beyond belief.
Well, it ain't Ozzie and Harriet.
Tim, rewatching the film, does it still hold up for you?
More than I ever could have hoped. Yeah, it was in fact an emotional experience because to me it's so damn good. I was like, damn, this is like just I want to say a comic masterpiece. I'm sorry to go to that length on this, but it really is a fun, exciting, skillful, hilarious, just a really good, solid, entertaining movie. I can't think of many movies that I find more fun or more entertaining than this one.
And you know, when the film came out, you weren't a parent, and obviously now you are. Has that kind of transitioned the way you feel about the film in some respects?
Not really, but what does stick in my mind, because I think it was this 87, I think it said in the end credits. So
yes.
That puts me around 26, 27 years old when I first saw this. And I remember the review that came out on Canadian television. There was our own kind of premier film critic guy hated the movie. And it was because of the way they treated the baby. And for him, that was crossing a line, that's not funny to put a baby in danger. I had already seen the movie in the theater and laughed my ass off. My wife and I had both enjoyed the hell out of it. And never once did we think, oh, no, look what they're doing to the baby, because we know how films are made. And you know that baby was never in any actual danger. So are you kidding me? So now that I have a kid, I'm watching it. And I wondered almost, is that going to be a factor? Well, I think differently now that I've had to raise a baby. And no, it's still hilarious. It's still just, I mean, right off the bat, that whole sequence early on where he's trying to pick the baby and the babies all start crawling around. The 5 babies in the playroom are crawling, and they bring on this sort of Jaws-like terror music of, oh no, babies coming from all angles. That's just a brilliant sequence. And there's just so much fun from the script, the acting, and the visuals. All three are really well integrated and at the peak of, I think any filmmaker looks at that film and should be envious of all those three things. So, it didn't change my mind at all. If anything, I was more aware that I haven't seen the film in probably about 15 years, of how strong the emotional story is. Usually people make these kind of wacky or independent movies. They get the quirky characters and the strange sequences going, but they don't have much that anybody cares about. It's the strength of the actual underlying love story and the kid story in this that makes it better than most of those movies.
What about you, Sean? I'm assuming this is the first time you'd ever seen
this. This is definitely the first time I'd ever seen it. I'm so glad that I watched this because it really is. I totally agree. It's extremely, extremely emotional story, and I thought it's something that especially with Nick Cage, having the sort of like opinion that I do of him now, you know, you don't really take him seriously until you can. This was definitely one of those movies where like because it is such a quirk, there's such a quirk to it, but there is such a heart as well that you totally fall for. There's like a charm to it that kind of lets you ignore the absurdity. You know, there's some scenes where they kind of push like the absurdity for comedic value, and it's so worth it. It's so you buy it. You know what I mean? And I really, this is sort of a gem. I mean, they're not making movies like this anymore. Like Tim, you totally said it. It's like these kind of mid-level movies where they really, really, really emphasize and highlight a great story and great characters and great relationships, because I think that's like one of the best things. Like it's a very memorable story. And just that moment at the end where like when they kind of wrap things up, it's a crazy movie and like ridiculous things happen, but it just that scene at the end in the nursery could have been so cheesy and so throwaway, but it's such a sincere moment between the two and the father of the baby, and I thought that was just, it could have been so cheap and thrown away, and that to me was extremely emotional, and just I kind of like wrapped it up really nicely. So I thought this movie was such a gem, and I'm really glad that we watched it this month, because I really liked this movie.
I had never seen this movie before. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Coen Brothers. I'm a huge fan of the Coen Brothers, but there are also a couple of their films that I feel like maybe people are a little too high on them, that I'm just kind of like, they're okay. But, you know, the Coen Brothers, they oscillate for me from film to film, because sometimes I think a film is absolute genius, and other times I just think it's kind of middle of the road. So Raising Arizona, on the other hand, I would agree with both of you guys that it is a fantastic film that changed my opinion on Nicolas Cage a little bit.
Totally.
Because before I watched it, I was dreading this month, because my exposure to Nicolas Cage has been Nick Cage of National Treasure and Con Air and Wicker Man. And as much as I enjoy the hilariousness that is Wicker Man, it's not a good movie. It's a bad movie that's fun to watch. But, you know, the characters in this movie are great. The writing is great. The performances are believable. These are real characters that, for the most part, inhabit a real world, aside from some of the kind of the more absurd aspects of the film, like Randall Tex Cobb's character. It's a really well-done film that, you know, like you said, Tim, it has heart to it, and comedies these days don't really do that, especially ones that have these idiosyncratic characters. And I would go as far to say is that some of the Coen Brothers' more recent films with idiosyncratic characters don't have characters that I care about.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with that.
Especially their most recent film, Hail Caesar. That movie, for me, just was a complete dud.
Yeah, no, that was a complete misfire, I would say. And I mean, the Coens are so good that it's like there are bands or musicians that I love that occasionally turn out something I can't stand. And if I love them enough as artists, I think maybe I'm the one not getting something. And maybe someday I'll go, oh, I see, it's this, and it'll suddenly unfold to me as a great work of art. But every artist has duds. Every artist has stuff where they gave it a good shot and just missed the target of what they were aiming for, or what, you know, or maybe they got what they were aiming for and it was the wrong thing to aim at. You just never know. But with Raising Arizona, it's like, you know, this was them young filmmakers coming out. I think, is this maybe like their second film after Blood Simple, or it's pretty early in their filmography. And especially, you know, I think it's hard for you to imagine when this was new, when Nick Cage was new, and this film just was something nobody had seen before. Just stylistically, the tone of it, the character, everything about this film was just a revelation. You know, this was their, I mean, I'd seen Blood Simple and I thought, well, there's some cool camera moves and it's a good movie and it's very smart. But I didn't love it. It was just really good. I saw this movie and I was like, holy shit, there's a new, a new serious artist on the film. There's a new Spielberg, kind of like somebody that you can get excited about when they have a movie coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was,
that's awesome.
And rewatching it, I just start writing down, I guess, things about the structure in that I didn't see the first few times. You start realizing how well it holds together and is like, I love that even that first dream sequence he has about the coming when Ty Cobb, not Ty Cobb, what's his name?
Tex Cobb.
Tex Cobb. Ty Cobb's a baseball player.
But Tex Cobb was a boxer.
Yeah, so I mean, when that dream he has of him coming, the gathering storm, that this is coming, and there's this, Carter Burwell's music is great, and it's ominous and everything, and then they come out of that to Holly Hunter with the baby singing him a song. It's the same melody. She's singing that song to him, and it's a murder ballad. It's about they hung him on a scaffold because he had killed she's singing a horrible murder ballad to this sweet little baby.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But it's those little touches that if you watch the movie all through, they're really thought out. There's a lot of details that have been carefully placed in this film, and it's not happenstance. It's not just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. The other thing I just want to say is I remember reading long ago about this film, about their writing process and how they outlined it, because I remember thinking this is a pretty crazy story and it's pretty crazily told. And they said that their process was to paint themselves into a corner, to not really think about this as the first act and second act and third act, and this is where this kind of character needs this in their arc, or any of the kind of stuff a lot of writers traditionally do. They pretty much just thought, okay, now they're stuck here and they're in this trailer and they've got the baby, and what's the worst thing that could happen now? And then how do they get out of that? And so on, sort of out of the fire into the frying pan. And I think that's part of the charm of this film, is that there's no template in your head that you go, oh, it's one of those movies. I know what's going to happen next. Like, you haven't got a clue where this movie's going the first time you see it. So that's a lot of the fun of it.
And also, I feel like, and this is just me personally as someone who watches Coen Brothers films, I have always felt like for a majority of their films, the third act is problematic. And in this film, it's problematic, but it's problematic in a way that works to the film's advantage, especially the way the film wraps up.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't really give you what you want as an audience member from the film. And I think that that's so successful about the film, is that it, along with just the film itself, it subverts the expectations of what you're going into this film, and the ending plays so strongly into that. And the Coen Brothers, like I said, I've had a couple of their films, more than a couple, have the third act is just not what I think is a successful third act, but this film really knocks that third act out of the park.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a part of the curse of being as eclectic as they are, or trying to be as nonconformist as they are. They try and avoid obvious endings or things that are done in other Hollywood films, but that always leaves you with, how do you create a satisfying ending if you're not going to do what the audience expects, or what dramatic theory kind of is pushing you towards. Yeah. And you can get too clever and do something that is unexpected, but it's going to feel like somebody just gave you a pork chop for dessert. It's not what you wanted at the end of your meal. So in this one, the fact that they have the two convict friends and that those guys have the baby, and then Tex Cobb comes in and has the baby, you think they're setting up, oh great, they're going to they could get away with this completely because someone else will be blamed for the crime and they can kind of sneak out of it. But it goes a different way. And I think that's it. But what I thought when I'm watching it is it has more to do with the heart of the film. That's exactly where they seem to know that their film ultimately is a love story about this couple and their need for a family. So they came back to that. And that felt like a satisfying ending, because a good ending feels like it answered the question you asked at the first of the film. Yeah. And some films forget what question they're asking. This film seemed to remember what it's about all the way through, and that's always feels more satisfying at the end.
I totally agree. I think that this movie it sort of has like a story bigger than itself sort of feeling, because you're right, it does. It really comes back to itself at the end there. I love one thing I love about this movie altogether is just it feels like, just with that really strong Southern dialect and very authentic, it just feels there's something about just the real Americanness of it, and it very much reminds me of sort of like My Family, and there's something about. I know. I know. I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that, but there's something about the earnestness and about the simplicity of them, and coming back to it at the end. Like, I really enjoyed. Like, to me, it was a very satisfying ending, because what we got was a conflict between characters and relationships, and we see them sort of sorting through them. The minute Holly Hunter, she kind of has this epiphany in the car when they're going to find the baby at the end, where she's like, I made this oath as a police officer. And it's such a beautiful moment because you see these real people sort of having these revelations about themselves as human beings and where they fit. And even H.I.'s monologue at the end, where he talks about maybe they have his final dream in the movie, where he talks about, maybe we could have affected this child and sort of still be the parent of this child, even though we aren't there for the rest of their life. That's a beautiful moment because it asks such a human question, and in such a way that is real for these people. And I think that is such a satisfying ending because it's such of the heart, like you said.
Well, what's fun is that they're in the bedroom, and the Nathan, Arizona is pretty, like he's convinced that someone else stole his kid and they are just returning it. So they give him a big door to walk through. They could walk out and be fine and get reward money. And, as screenwriting 101 will all tell you, character is about choices. Yeah. So at that moment, it's the fact that they had this choice and they said, no, we actually did take him, and they kind of own up. I mean, he sees it first because he sees the way they're looking at the kid, but again, they didn't try and wriggle out of it. Yeah. And the other interesting in the setup is that, like, Holly Hunter is the one pushing, he's the criminal. Nick Cage is the criminal. Holly Hunter is the one saying, don't come back here without a baby, and sends him back up a second time to get that kid. And it's at that moment you're talking about in the car, she realizes she pushed this hard too. It's not like, oh, my crazy ex-con husband is doing these things. So that's a smart detail to put in that a lot of people, I think, I probably wouldn't have thought of something like that, because you think, oh, he's the criminal guy and she's the former police officer. You'd sort of paint them as opposites, but they're not opposites. And that's part of the kind of complexity that makes it such a fun movie.
It's such a fun. Yeah, I love that. It's so beautiful.
Because one thing that's kind of kills me, and I wrote down some of the stuff they say, but they give everybody in this movie some crazy, complicated, poetic language to speak. So they're all like Southerners, and they're all kind of, people of the earth, but they all say some pretty fancy, highfalutin things, and it's just thrown in there with their folksy, working classisms, and it's almost like part of the Coen Brothers tone. And it's not just one or two characters; almost all of them have these moments of saying the thing you don't expect people like that to say. Yeah. It's just almost like they invent their own language with this movie, and it kind of almost comes to the peak at the end with Nick Cage's final monologue, where it cracks me up every time, because as he's sort of weaving this fantasy of the future life, he sort of says, I cannot tarry. Yeah. Just like, I cannot tarry. I mean, and early on when he says that, when he's talking about Ed being barren, and the doctor explained that her insides were a rocky place where my seed could find no purchase.
Yes. It's so fun. It's so awesome, though. Like there's such character in that language. I love it.
Yeah, when John Goodman's leaving the bank robbery, I hadn't caught this line before. He says, "Anyone found bipedal in five wears his ass for a hat." Yeah, he uses the word bipedal, for God's sake.
Oh my God, so good.
So it's awesome, is all I can say.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the Coen Brothers have really, they have come a long way from this film, but I think this film at its core is kind of the genesis of their work as a whole. I mean, it's got these interesting characters. It's got a very eccentric plot that goes places, like you guys said, it goes places that you would not expect it to. And then it's got some heart to it. And a lot of the Coen's best films have characters that have a real depth of emotion to them and believability. I know everybody loves The Big Lebowski, but the reason that movie is such a success is because Jeff Bridges' character is so believable as a character.
Well, yeah, and I think even if you compare it to some of the others that, at least in my estimation, don't rise to that level. Like, I love Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But I don't think it's as good, because
and I agree.
Because for me, watching it, those characters feel a little more like they're winking at the camera. Like, even they don't take themselves seriously. They're a little too on the postcard flat side of, this is a sort of stereotype of a kind of yokel or something. They don't have the authenticity or the sort of 3D-ness that the characters in Big Lebowski or Raising Arizona have. And I think you're right. This movie is kind of the blueprint for their tone or for their style that they've kind of embellished and refined over the following years as they made other movies.
Well, and it also has some of the people that they would work with fairly frequently. Emmett Walsh was in Blood Simple. Frances McDormand obviously is married to one of the Coen brothers, so she's married to Joel Coen. Obviously, she would be in Fargo. I mean, her and Sam McMurray in this film, craziest characters in this film.
That's a great scene. The one where he says, "Watch this," and makes the kid duck while he throws those.
I died.
I love that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Or the fact that his character brings up wife swapping.
Yeah.
My wife thinks you're cute. I think your wife's cute. Get the hell away from my wife.
I love his Polish joke. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? 3. Wait, no, I said it wrong. Why does it take 3 Polacks? Why does it take 3 Polacks to screw in a light bulb? Because they're so dang stupid.
And then he gets his comeuppance in the dream. At the end, which cracked me up. And told one Polak joke too many.
Officer Kowalski. That was great.
Yeah, he's great.
Everything about this movie really does further the plot, and it doesn't feel like it's just creating these eccentric characters for eccentricity's sake. It feels like there's a purpose behind everything that happens. And I think that for me, some of the more recent Coen Brothers films don't feel that way. And they don't have these rich characters that I get invested in. I mean, my favorite character in the film is Leonard Smalls, the lone biker of the apocalypse.
That just blows up every single living thing on the way. It's so funny. I loved that scene.
It's absurd. His character doesn't belong in this movie.
Not at all.
Life is hard for the little things.
As he just blows up rabbits and stuff as he's driving on his giant Harley motorcycle.
His scene with Nathan Arizona where he catches the fly and stuff. I mean, that's a great scene for him,
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot to say in this movie, but the one scene he's got, he nails it. It's really good.
But it's just his character. I mean, the Coen brothers do such a great job of blending characters that, I mean, his character doesn't belong in this movie. The Coen brothers have such a great ability to make everything work together. And when they're firing on all cylinders, I mean, you get a movie like this.
Wait, thinking of Tex Cobb makes me think of this sound. See if you can hear this. This is I'm pretty sure that's the emu sound. Because that's of that age. That's from the an emu library, and I'm pretty sure that's what they use. All for his, Warrior of the Apocalypse stuff. There's a certain. It's awesome.
Amazing. As he comes hurtling down the.
Yeah.
I mean, I love him as an actor. I've only seen him in a couple things, but he plays the monstrous gentleman so well.
Yeah.
He sounds like he has a cold in the movie, or just got punched in the nose because he's like, "I'll fight you, kid." It's almost like a Marlon Brando sort of snubbiness to his nose, but it's pretty hilarious.
Well, I just remember him from Fletch Lives as the guy who threatens to rape Fletch in the prison cell. A comedic sequel that actually works. Fletch Lives.
That seems like a role he would get a lot of.
A big guy who's gonna beat up the small guy. Yeah.
That's
and then
even that first scene in the prison just reminds me of the prison scene in Raising Arizona where that guy's mopping the floor, kind of growls at him every time, and it's and the voiceover's talking about it's sort of old friends are still old friends, and the feelings of camaraderie. And the great sort of running gag with the parole board, saying they got a word for repeat offender, recidivism. That sure is one bonehead word. And he's like, well, I'm not. He says, are you going to go straight? And he says, yes. And well, you're not just telling us what we want to hear. Well, I guess I am telling you what I want to hear because I am going to go straight. Well, boy, did not tell you not to do that.
It's so great.
The okay then. I love okay then gets used as a refrain in this movie. That's become a sort of meme in our house for years. Is okay then. Is that in the if you had to pick a sort of a meme or things that you would repeat, lines you would repeat from this movie, I'll put you. What do you think they'd be? Do you have any that stuck out to you?
Oh, I'm trying to.
I feel like there's a ton. Jeez.
Because for me, it's been since I first saw the movie, and I've got friends that all remember this line as, round is funny.
Yeah, round is, unless you think round is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that old man is hysterical. Oh, that was so good.
I don't know. One of my favorite bits in the movie is when the cops are at the Arizona household right after the baby gets stolen.
Yeah.
And Nathan Arizona, they're questioning him as to why he changed his name from Huffines.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you think? They're going to buy furniture from someone. It's called unpainted Huffines? Oh, what? I don't even understand the logic here. Just no logic whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
Why don't you stop sitting around here in the one house in the county my baby ain't at?
So clever, so good.
Every little character in this movie is so great.
Yeah.
Like every little character. It's like when Holly Hunter runs back into the bank at the end of the film, and you can just hear the voice like, "Little lady, you best get on the ground."
Yeah.
Like, oh my,
so good.
it's so fantastic.
And even the old guy that's the old bearded guy that's like a ZZ Top band member in the bank when there's having a dispute about like which is it, freeze. Well, you want us to freeze or get on the ground? Because if I freeze, I can't move. I'm not on the ground. But if I get on the ground, I'm going to be in motion. Even to say it like that, I'm going to be in motion. It's like a physics guy talking. It's an example of that colorful dialogue that's all throughout this film. It's tweaked to the Coen Brothers' ear,
Yeah.
Yeah. I died when John Goodman's character, he tells everyone to get down, and then he looks and is like, the tellers are gone. And then you hear just this disembodied voice say, "We're down here, sir."
Yeah.
Oh, it kills me. All those little details, man. They're just so.
We haven't even talked about William Forsythe and John Goodman at all.
They're great in this.
Yeah, such great characters. Oh.
With their pomade in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That scene where they're kind of birthed out of the mud is a fantastic image, and just the way he screams, the classic John Goodman scream, I think was in this movie. He screams then, he screams in the car when they left the baby, that long screaming sequence.
That's right. I love it. I think it's great. I thought that was the coolest.
When he's pulling William Forsythe out of the mud.
From the leg, by one leg.
And that first leg is so clearly like a prop leg.
Yeah.
It's so clearly a prop leg, and then they cut back and it's him pulling him out of the ground.
Yeah, but when John Goodman first comes out of the mud and he screams, I'm watching him like there's goop going in his mouth. And I thought that's an actor who's still going for it.
That's real.
That's professionalism right
there. It is.
I don't care if this mud's getting in my mouth and I have to taste it.
That's right. I just love John Goodman so much. Like, he's such a cool guy.
Would this be the first film they worked with him on?
Yes, I would think so. Because their first film was Blood Simple, and he wasn't in that. Yeah.
So and then he's been in pretty much everything ever since. Although I don't think it's in. He wasn't in their last one, I don't think.
Well, and this was 2 films after what is been considered his kind of breakout role, which was in True Stories. The Talking Heads film. So this is his second film after that. So
wow.
Yeah, he's not John Goodman of now, who's like you said, Tim, he's in like everything.
Yeah, and he's great.
He's not Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
I mean, they clearly like writing for him, and I've read that the Coen Brothers are very specific about their dialogue, down to the pauses and the ands and ofs. They write exactly what they want to hear, and I think they like actors that know how to deliver that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's got that line early on I made note of when they're trying to sell high on going on a bank heist, and he says, "You and I would be sitting in the fabled catbird seat." It's just like. The fabled cat. People don't talk that way. The baby's sawing toothpicks. He's fine. I mean, that's the dialogue, not John Goodman, but just the way he delivers those lines is so perfect. He's a writer's dream, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, they've worked with him a lot. You know, obviously, Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He played a relatively large part. Yeah. Barton Fink.
Yeah, Barton Fink, he's great.
Inside Llewellyn Davis, which I absolutely loved. He's worked with them a lot, so he must gel very well with their style. If you know, he was in their second film, and he wasn't in Hail Caesar though.
No,
surprisingly,
but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think he would have helped that film.
He dodged the bullet.
Yeah, that movie was really not great. So.
Yeah, it was a lapse of form for the Coens, but they'll be back.
Yeah. Well, before I ask y'all, Skipper to watch best performance, Tim, I'm curious because we haven't had you on for a Coen Brothers film before. What is your favorite Coen Brothers film?
Oh, man.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
That is putting me on the spot. I think I got to say this one because it was the first and it really just blew me away so much. So as much as I liked... I really like Barton Fink, and of course I love The Big Lebowski. But as great as those movies are, I kind of knew what to expect because they're Coen Brothers movies. So I think I will always go back to Raising Arizona because it was the one that really imprinted on me when I was, young and impressionable and hadn't never seen anything like this before. And it's not just the writing and it's not just the characters. It's also the visual style and the way the way the film's directed. It's pretty damn cool. So those would probably be my top three. And then later I'll probably remember something else with another one. I got to go make a list of all their great movies. But now I think I'll go Raising Arizona.
What about you, Sean? I don't think I've ever asked you. What's your favorite Coen Brothers film?
It's funny. It's I guess I still haven't seen The Big Lebowski, and I feel like I'm going to love that because my friend...
What?
I know. That's like such a movie in my tribe. I totally need to watch that. So I feel like that might be one of my favorite because I know I'm like dying to see it. I really love Fargo too. I loved Fargo. That's the one I think about probably first when I hear the Coen Brothers. But this movie was so good, man. Like this is up there for me. Like it might be one of my, I don't know. I really, really, because it's like you said, Tim, you can kind of see how the seeds of everything all the work they've done since then kind of started. And there's such an original kind of going back to home sort of feeling with Raising Arizona. And I kind of love that. So I don't know. I really liked Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But that's because I saw it so long ago. Tough. That's a tough one. I really, I guess I would say it's between Raising Arizona and Fargo for me because I just love those. I loved Fargo so much, but it's hard. It's tough.
There's even days where I really like A Serious Man or whatever that one was.
A Serious Man is pretty underrated. I enjoyed it.
There's just like terrible things keep happening and they just get worse and worse. And there's just something increasingly funny about how this guy's life just keeps getting shit on repeatedly from the very first moment in the film. And there's a good example of an ending you can't enjoy and a third act you can't enjoy because it's just like bad things are going to happen and you keep waiting for the let up and no, there's not going to be any let up. But there's something perversely fun about that. But I just want to say that for me, being a comedy guy, I don't think there's a funnier Coen Brother movie than this. And Big Lebowski's probably second to it. It's close. They're kind of like brother-sister movies, I think, this and Lebowski. For their comedies, they're closely matched, but I think this one's funnier. Having watched it, being fresh on it today, I think I laughed more at this than any other Coen Brother movie.
I'm surprised you haven't seen Big Lebowski, Sean.
I know, I need to, and I know I need to.
It's like a modern classic. I think it's a little. I think depending on the person I talk to about it, it can get a little like the conversation can veer into like overrated. I like it. It's not my favorite Coen Brothers movie by any stretch of the imagination. Probably for me, Inside Llewellyn Davis is probably my favorite.
Wow.
And I mean, I really enjoy it.
I had a hard time with that one.
It's a rough movie. The third act in that movie is not great. And the ending is a punch in the stomach, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I also really like No Country for Old Men. Again, another movie that the third act just works way better in the book.
Yeah.
And in the film, it just is a wet fart.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people I know, when they watch No Country, they were like, that's how the movie ends? With like a monologue by Tommy Lee Jones about following his father on the path in the middle of the night. But I really like Inside Llewellyn Davis. Hudsucker Proxy is good too. Another one that's kind of, I don't know, I like Tim Robbins, and him just like inventing the hula hoop and being like a total ding dong in that movie is pretty great. So
yeah, it's a pickup on the circles are round is funny,
right? Because the Coen Brothers just think round is funny.
Everybody a circle saying for kids.
Yeah, it's for the kids.
You know, for kids. It's a circle for kids.
For kids. Oh man. Well, Tim, skip it or watch it. Best performance.
I'll skip it.
Jesus.
People are too stupid to appreciate the genius of this movie. Yeah, definitely watch it. Watch it twice. Watch it every 5 years. Best performance. I'm going to go Nick Cage. He holds the movie together as much as I think Holly Hunter's also awesome in this film, and John Goodman's great. And I know you're going to say Tex Cobb. I'm going to give it to Nick Cage because this, to me, is his redeeming movie where you see what he's capable of in the right hands. He's pretty damn funny, and there's a lot of just the expressions on his face that sell the hell out of this, and the way he reads those dream sequence narrations is fantastic. He does an excellent job in this film.
What about you, Sean?
Definitely watch this. I'm so glad that you guys made me watch this because it's it really is. Now I can't wait to see The Big Lebowski even more. But it's such a good movie, and it does everything that I love when movies do it well. You know what I mean? It feels so original. The story's it's so rich, full of details, and the characters are so much fun and lovable. It's such a good watch, and I can't. This is one that I'll watch again, and I like it a lot. As far as best performance, this kind of movie is the one where it's where every single, even tiny character is so full of story, and I love it. I loved Holly Hunter. I think I gotta say, maybe I'll say John Goodman and William Forsythe together because I loved that duo, and especially that when they steal the kid and they're William Forsythe is holding him in the passenger seat, and he just sort of they both kind of fall in love with the baby. Such a sweet moment, and I just loved it. I thought they were so funny. So I'm going to say the two of them.
He smiled at me.
Yeah, he smiled. It's nice. It's so cute. Such a great moment.
He don't know nothing from Shinola.
Yeah. Don't you swear around him. Don't you cuss around him.
Don't you?
I'm going to say watch it. This movie had two actors in it that I had some pretty, not strong opinions about, but I hadn't seen them in anything good. I know Holly Hunter's been in a lot of good stuff, but the most recent film that I had seen her in was Batman versus Superman.
Ooh.
And that movie was aggressively bad. So she was really good in this film. They wrote that character with her in mind. And even if I had not known that, I would have been able to kind of pick up on that because it really plays into her strengths as an actress. And Nick Cage, I mean, like I said, I really didn't like Nick Cage. And I get the distinct feeling that the longer we progress in this month, the less high quality films we're going to be watching. I mean, this is starting out the month on a really high note.
Exactly.
This is like being at the top of Mount Everest and looking down and being like, well, we have to climb down the mountain now, don't we? So that's, this starts the month on a really high note, and I really like Nick Cage in it. But for best performance, I have to go with Tex Cobb. He's great. He's a minor character in the film, but does a good job of being a surly, rabbit-killing bounty hunter that openly wears grenades on his leather vest.
Well, can I add somebody to the best performance?
Sure.
I want to add Barry Sonnenfeld as DP because the camera work in this movie is amazing, and he's probably not the operator. I don't know whoever operated the Steadicam. That whole chasing for the diapers scene that goes through the yards and then into the people's house. You just imagine a Steadicam operator's life on this movie. It's some of the best camera work I've ever seen, and Barry Sonnenfeld deserves a shout out for that.
And Barry Sonnenfeld also has a film coming out later this year. I want to say next week, where Kevin Spacey plays a cat.
Oh, that's right. 9 lines.
Yes, Kevin Spacey becomes a cat. Excuse me.
Oh.
So that's a thing that's happening. So
I feel so good for both of them.
Jesus. Well, let's be honest here. Barry Sonnenfeld also directed one of the. I don't know. I don't hate the movie as much as a lot of people, but I know the movie gets a lot of shit. Barry Sonnenfeld directed Wild Wild West.
Right. Well, he made his name. He made his name with the first Men in Black.
Right.
Yeah. He's clearly. I think he's more of a visual stylist than a storyteller. Don't kill me, Barry Sonnenfeld's people. But compared to the Coen Brothers, I think he's not in their league for script.
No. All of a sudden we hear a knock on your door and then thunk thunk, and you just drop dead because the Sonnenfeld people came and
that's right.
took you away.
Who are you, dweebling? What have you written, asshole? It's true. I know.
I'm sorry. Don't kill me. I'll take it all back.
Can I work with you one day?
What do you guys think this has on Rotten Tomatoes?
That's like out of 100%, right? Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 79. It should be higher, but people don't know this movie as well as they should. So 79, I'll say.
I'm going to say a high, like 88.
90% from the critics. A terrifically original, eccentric screwball comedy, Raising Arizona may not be the Coens' most disciplined movie, but it's one of their most purely entertaining.
Oh, I forgot it's from the critics. Okay, yeah. Critics would all give this a high rating, yes.
Yeah.
The audience gave it an 85%, so...
My faith in humanity is restored.
Yeah.
Interesting side note, have you guys noticed that more recently spots on TV have been using Rotten Tomatoes?
Really?
In like every TV spot for a movie to like try to justify it being good? They didn't used to do that. Like Star Trek did it, Ghostbusters did it.
Wow.
Like a bunch of recent movies have been doing it. I'm just like, when did this become a thing?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Since Siskel and Ebert gave up the ghost, I think there's not really a preeminent film critic anymore. So
yeah,
it's true.
It's just what social media says.
Internet neckbeards, Tim. Internet neckbeards are the preeminent movie critics.
You need to form an INB website then.
Internet neckbeards. It's just everything is bad. This movie fucking sucks because the internet neckbeard said so.
We gave it a 2 meh.
Super meh, guys. It's not even bad enough to be classified in shit. It's just meh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love how that's a thing. Like professional movie critics write meh.
That was my least favorite. Well, I've had a lot of bad notes in my life as a writer, but that one took the cake. I handed in an outline for an episode of a series I was working on, and the exec just wrote meh across the whole thing.
Fucking burned you good.
Just like crossed it out and wrote meh on it. And I thought, God. Really?
Man, he couldn't even muster up more than 3 letters.
No.
What a shithead.
Thank you for your input.
Well, before I talk about the next Kulturecast, Tim, anything you're working on now you want to talk about? Anything you can talk about?
I just finished writing a pilot that I hope sees the light of day soon, and I'm working on a kids show with one of my heroes, so I'm excited. I hope that happens, but I can't say. And then what I can say is if anyone's got a little kid and they watch Sprout, they'll see Terrific Trucks, and I wrote the theme song and I sing it. I co-wrote the theme song and I sing it, so they can hear me singing the Terrific Trucks theme song.
Oh,
how exciting is that?
That's awesome.
It's me doing a bad ZZ Top impression, so check that.
But is there really such thing as a good ZZ Top impersonation?
I think as long as you're trying to channel the ZZ Top magic, you're in a good place.
It's magic.
Beard and rotating guitar.
Yeah,
is all you need.
Life is good in the ZZ Top world.
And a pair of cheap sunglasses.
I was gonna say you need the shades.
No pearl necklace though.
No. No. I just sang like this. I did my singing, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh man, and they're like that in live. I don't know if you've ever seen them live, but Lord in heaven. There's nothing lost in translation. Let's put it that way.
But I did just go see Paul McCartney, which was awesome and life-changing, but he did one song that is still freaking me out called Temporary Secretary. So look into that and tell me what the hell's the deal with Temporary Secretary.
Temporary.
Yeah, look it up. I was just saying he didn't do I've Just Seen a Face. He didn't do I'm Looking Through You, but he did Temporary Secretary.
Temporary. It's a rhyming song, guys.
What's the deal, Paul?
Oh, I saw Paul McCartney a couple years back, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. He wasn't playing Temporary Secretary at the time, I don't think.
No. So, the show was great, but that was weird.
What about you, Sean? Anything you're working on now?
Yeah, Ghosts and Stuff Inc. is on its way. My episode just came out yesterday, so give it a look. It'll be on my Facebook page, and there's a few more episodes left for the first. I guess little series, and I had a lot of fun working on this. It's a fun web series, really, really funny, and it's a great group of people. So we really want to continue working with them. So check it out. I'll post a link to the page and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that we can keep working on this because it's such a fun project. So yeah, that's Ghosts and Stuff. Check that out on my Facebook page. I'm Sean Liang, and on Twitter you can always follow me at Shonifer.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Kulturestash. And if you like what you're hearing now, head on over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast to check out 100 plus episodes of the Kulturecast. If you like hearing Tim talk movies with us, Larry the Cable Guy's immediate Christmas classic Jingle All the Way 2 comes to mind. We also talked The Big Short. And trying to think what else we've talked, Tim.
I'm sorry. Once you said Larry the Cable Guy, I stopped listening.
Once you talked to the Larry the Cable Guy, I immediately shut down.
PTSD.
Yeah, it sort of triggers projectile vomiting on my part. It's involuntary, so.
Oh, I know. We talked Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Classic.
Phoenix. Oh, man. Absolute classic. Absolute classic. The music that you're hearing is the intro outro for the podcast is from the lovely band Wavoka. It's their song Lament off their self-titled first album. So go check them out. And if you want to kick a couple dollars our way to help us keep the lights on and the rats running on the treadmills over here to help us power the soundboard, head on over to patreon.com/culture_shocked and kick a couple dollars our way. The next Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about Vampire's Kiss, otherwise known as that one Nicolas Cage movie where he screams all the time. And he screams the alphabet. It's snow raising Arizona, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that much. Big thanks, as always, Tim, for you taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk movies with us.
Always fun. Thanks.
And make sure to check out the next Kulturecast.